For busy householders, is it useful to have a set time for meditation and inquiry practice, a length of time, a certain number of times per day? And what might that practice look like to help us progress on the path?
Bhagavan has given us a very simple prescription for how long we should meditate, when we should meditate. He's very clear and precise prescription Bhagavan has given, always. That is, every moment in life is an opportunity for us to turn our attention back to ourselves. Bhagavan never prescribed you should do this for 20 minutes morning and evening, or you should sit in Padmasana, or you should, when Bhagavan was asked what is the best asana, he said Nididhyasana. That means practice of self-investigation is itself the best asana. So every moment, is there any moment when we do not exist? Is there any moment when we are not aware of our existence? So every moment is an opportunity for us to turn our attention back to ourselves. Every moment of waking and dream. Of course, in sleep we can't do so because there's nowhere to, in sleep we alone exist, so there's no opportunity to turn anywhere. But in waking and dream, our aim should be to be self-attentive at all times. Whatever we may be doing or not doing, Bhagavan often used to say, if you have love to practice self-investigation, if you have love to hold on to self-attentiveness, you will be able to do so in the midst of a battlefield. If you cannot do so in the midst of a battlefield, you will not be able to do so even if you go and sit in a cave in the Himalayas. The whole problem is not the external circumstances. Our problem is do we have sufficient liking to turn within or not? Whether we are all these external things, being a householder or being a sannyasi, Bhagavan said all this is according to prarabdha. That's why Bhagavan never recommended any form of external renunciation. He wasn't opposed to it. Well, he said, if it's your destiny to be a sannyasi, you'll be a sannyasi. If it's your destiny to be a householder, to have 10 children and have to work throughout your life, you will do so. It's all these outward things are determined by prarabdha. But real renunciation, that is, Bhagavan's path is a path of renunciation, but not outward renunciation. The real renunciation is turning our attention within. That is the renunciation which is required. So it doesn't matter what our external circumstances may be. Regarding setting aside time, some people find it helpful to set aside some time, morning and evening, but I think it is fair to say most of us find, as we go deeper in this path, but that is not actually so very helpful. Because I can set aside from 3:30 to 4 o'clock in the morning, and from 6:30 to 7 in the evening, I will practice self-investigation. I can set myself a routine like that. But when I actually sit, what will be occupying my mind? If I've got some worries, my mind will be dwelling on its worries. I'll try and bring it back, and again it'll go back to the worries. So it is as easy to be self-attentive in the midst of activities as it is when setting aside time for meditation. It is true, but at times when our mind is not directly engaged in any other work, that is an opportunity to go a little deeper. But we can find such times here and there throughout the day. We don't have to set aside 20 minutes or half an hour for that. If we really have love to be self-attentive, we'll be finding opportunities here and there. When we are traveling to work, we're standing on the bus or standing in a queue, or there's so many times in life when we have opportunities to turn within, when our mind isn't preoccupied with anything else. even simple things. When we're eating, we can be attending to ourselves. When we go to the toilet, we can attend to ourselves. There's so many opportunities if we have a liking to do so. And many of the things that we normally assume require attention. For example, if you're driving a car, obviously you need to pay attention to what's happening. But in practice, very little attention is needed to drive a car. You can drive a car. If it's a familiar road, you can drive and reach your destination. When you reach your destination, if someone asks you, were the lights red at such and such a turning, you won't be able to remember, because once activities become routine, they go on almost on autopilot. So even at such times, you can be self-attentive. In fact, you'll be driving better if you're rather than allowing your mind to be wandering over so many thoughts that may distract you, if you're just calmly holding on to that background self-attentiveness, you'll actually be driving better than if you're thinking about this worry, that worry, or things that may easily distract you. So it takes practice, but with practice, we can be holding on to this self-attentiveness, whatever we may be doing. As Bhagavan said, even in the midst of a battlefield, we can hold on to self-attentiveness if we have sufficient love. I hope this is a helpful answer.